All right, continue to bang them out. Hello, Cappy. Black kid from an immigrant background from Nigeria. Doesn't matter. My father is a pharmacist, and I am currently a statistics and environmental studies major. Get rid of the environmental studies major. It's not a real thing. With a minor in applied mathematics, who's hopefully a month away from graduating. I'm looking at going to grad school at a place for data science and artificial intelligence. I'm going to grad school because to be a data scientist or machine learning engineer, you essentially need a master's or a PhD degree. Okay, good. You're on the right track. So far, so good. Almost 90% of the people who work in this field have a master's degree. Right now, I'm looking for employment and have gotten a few looks at my resume from different companies and just had an interview this week. The economy is bad right now. Thank you for recognizing that. Maybe it's because you're an immigrant and you're a little bit more from the real world, but like people are like, okay, why can't I find a job? It's like, did you hear about the great and merciful Corona, Chan? Have you noticed the recession? I mean, so at least you're aware of this. You're not taking it on yourself personally is what I'm saying. So the job search has been a bit slow at the present, but before many employers were looking at my resume when the economy was even worse. I look to be a machine learner and learning engineer, data scientist for 5 years, then gain a bunch of contracts and grow a larger network in order to start a tech startup with machine learning and healthcare. All right, whoa. You don't even know what product you're going to make right now. And I'm going to say this again. It's legit field that you're in. Okay, no problem with that. You won't know what your product is until like you work in that industry and you get enough expertise to say, you know what this industry needs? It needs X. And I'm going to go produce X. But right now, don't give me your 22-year-old bullshit. Like, I'm going to start a company. No, you're not. No, you're not. You will start a company when you come up with a product. Right? In the meantime, I like your, I think it's kind of foolish. It's not foolish. It's hopeful, I guess is a better word to explain it. Like 5 years, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, yeah, life doesn't work that way. What if like you're 2 years in and you come up with a brilliant business product, a brilliant business idea? Like, I'm going to do that. Or let's say you marry a really rich woman and she just pensions you off and you just got to be the house husband. All right. Don't wed yourself to these 5 years plans. Ask Stalin. It didn't work out too great for him or the Soviets. But, you know, just be flexible. I'm not saying that's a bad idea to start off with that, but, you know, like, oh, I got another job offer over here and they want me to get my PhD and maybe you really like teaching, you know, whatever. But you do not know what you're going to tech startup. Oh, was that sexy? Did you watch some TV and it made it sound sexy? You're going to do a tech startup? This may change, but this is essentially my goal. I don't really want to get married within the next 7 years and have a family because I want to totally focus on my career goals and put all my money time. Here's another thing. Like, what if you meet the girl of your dreams? What if that happens? Be flexible. You know, maybe she'll let you continue working and it doesn't impede your career. But I wouldn't be like, there's a nice girl you go on a date with. You're like, boy, I really like her. But I have my 5-year plan, just like Stalin. Where's all the food? You'll find if you're going to find the love of your life, you will find her when you find her. And you will not choose where or when. It will happen. And please do not be so focused on your career that you ignore love. Ask your dad. He'd probably agree with me. Put my effort into that. What do you think I should do, Cappy? I'm 6'2", maybe 6'3", with shoes on. Black kid who is looking for a partner. What should I do? I'll tell you, if you're looking for a girl, I go back to Nigeria. And we've had that happen several times here, regardless of the country, where immigrants from one country or another come here and they're like, what the fuck is with these American women? It's like, yeah, they kind of suck, don't they? And then they go back. I've always told the story about my Vietnamese buddy who was born and raised in America, but his parents were Vietnamese. He had to go back to Vietnam, and he was never there. He went to Vietnam for the first time, and the family back in the home country set him up with some more culture. We've had several Muslims, Middle Eastern dudes, and I presume East Indian guys as well. They went back, and I presume it's going to be the same thing. It's not your number one goal, finding a wife and getting married, which is fine. But if you want to get married and have some kids, I would keep some fingers in Nigeria, maybe go back, visit the home country, see how people are doing. So I did ask you, all right, well, what are your goals long-term? I mean, wife, kids, nice house in Dallas, or go back to the home country. You said, I'd like to start a business in technology, specifically machine learning. I am not an immigrant. My parents are immigrants, and I'm still looking for a job and a girl. I think I need to move to Silicon Valley in order to start my business at tech. You're not starting a business until you got a business idea. You're not starting a business. And you don't have a business idea until you go work in the industry and find out what the industry needs. Would you advise on that since this is the biggest hub for technology? Boy, man, Silicon Valley, you got to live in California and the traffic and the communists and the pieces of shit. And nowadays, with the great and merciful Corona Chan, you should be able to work more remotely, especially within data science. But I think, no, I like your plan altogether. It's a pretty solid plan. You're going to need to get your master's. Keep applying for jobs if you can get it. But I think it is a professional profession. You do need a master's degree. And so I would focus on getting your master's degree. If you can work, get a little bit of experience, sure, if it comes along. But if the economy is not that good, and it's a general rule that when an economy is in recession, good thing to do is go back to school and get trained up because there's no economic opportunity cost. It's like, well, no one's going to hire you anyway. I would not move to Silicon Valley unless you absolutely had to and you had a huge job offer. You could do Raleigh, Durham. There's a tech corridor down there. Texas has got a tech corridor. I'm grasping at straws here now, but I believe like even Connecticut, like the finance dude bros, the quants. Maybe you go work in finance, but Silicon Valley. I don't know if you've ever been to California. It sucks. It really sucks. If you could get a job now, a lot of people are moving out to Vegas, which I love. Vegas, I'd recommend any time of the day. I just don't know if you'd have a job out there. But if you could get a remote work job, I mean, that would be ideal. And then I think you said you want to have 6 kids. Well, hang on. Your doctorate might be easier than that. You're going to have to find the right girl. And I wouldn't, if you find a girl here, cool. Maybe there's a Nigerian community within the United States. But I think that's not one of your most pressing goals, but it's going to be a long haul to find the right girl, especially you want to find a girl that wants to have 6 kids. Holy cow. You're going to have to find it. And I think you almost are going to have to go back to Nigeria or a country that is more traditional because most girls in the United States don't want to have 6 kids. They don't want to have any kids. They don't want to get married to you. He's only 6'2", and he only makes $175,000. I really do need a 6'3" guy and $200,000. But thankfully, what I also like about you, you're very career focused, and that's good because that's where the highest rate of return on your money is going to come in. I would not look for women. Do keep an eye out for women. Go date, have a good time. Don't take your career too seriously at the expense of love or fun. And when it comes like, where do you work? Well, get your master's degree first. You keep applying for jobs, but man, I wouldn't, it's not like you just go to Silicon Valley and it's easier. Like the right opportunity will show up. All right. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of applications, but especially once you get your master's degree, then you might be able to, you might find some more opportunities. And, let's say you go, St. Petersburg. By gosh, if you got a job in St. Petersburg, Florida, I don't know why. It doesn't sound like a tech hub, but let's say you die. Oh boy, I'd move down there. That sounds real nice. Or you get to work, remotely. But no, keep focusing on your career. Keep an eye out for business opportunities that once you work in the industry and you understand it, you figure out what's really annoying and needs to be solved. That might be a business idea, but right now you don't have an idea for a business, so I wouldn't start it. Don't waste your time. And then, just keep a wandering eye out for the girls. One might come along, but once you start, your career is where you want it to be, and it's time to get married, I would definitely keep the option on the table of going back to Nigeria, even though I know you're not from Nigeria, but go back there culturally speaking. Maybe ask your dad or your mom, like, hey, do we know anyone? Because there's a lot to be said about the cultural similarities. And those marriages seem to work well. My Vietnamese buddy, I think he's been with his girl for 5-6 years now. East Indian buddy of mine, 10. I remember my Vietnamese buddy. Oh, he dated an American girl. She was mentally ill. And that did not work out. So, all right. Any super chats? We got one. Fred Friedman solid, $2. Just be 5'9" Irish ballroom dancing economist, my own opinion. 5'9" Scandinavian Spaniard ballroom dancing economist, it turns out. Not I. Well, I'm a little bit Irish. Barely. I'm more Jewish than I am Irish, I found out. So you can just, and it's kind of sad I can't cut Irish jokes no more. I think with only 3% Irish blood, you really can't cut any Irish jokes. You need like a quarter or more in order to, get the racial jokes in there. So, all right, that's it. Questions, answers, AstroConsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.